Hello, my dear students. How are you today? I hope you are all doing great. Once again, this is Teacher Ann. Welcome to our online class. Today, we will be discussing about addition of fractions. So to start, let us recall our previous lesson about ordering fractions. So for number 1, arrange the following fractions in increasing order. Okay, so the first common multiple of the following denominators, 6, 2, 4, and 3, is 12. So we need to make their denominators equals to 12. So for 5 out of 6, we need to multiply it by 2 out of 2. So 5 times 2 is equals to 10, and 6 times 2 is equals to 12. So 5 out of 6 is equals to 10 out of 12. Here, we need to multiply 1 out of 2 by 6 out of 6. So 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12. Then copy the same whole number part. Next, 3 out of 4 must be multiplied by 3 out of 3. So 3 times 3 is equals to 9, and 4 times 3 is equals to 12. Again, copy the whole number part. So 1 and 3/4 is equal to 1 and 9 out of 12. Next, 1 out of 3 must be multiplied by 4 out of 4. So 1 times 4 is equals to 4, and 3 times 4 is equals to 12. So 1 out of 3 is equal to 4 out of 12. So now let us arrange these fractions in increasing order. So if it is increasing, we need to start from the smallest fraction. And among these fractions, the smallest is 4 out of 12 or 1 out of 3, followed by 10 out of 12 or 5 out of 6. And then 1 and 6 out of 12 or 1 and 1 out of 2. And the greatest number is 1 and 9 out of 12 or 1 and 3/4. Very good. For number 2, arrange the following fractions in decreasing order. So we have here 5 out of 3, 4 out of 5, 8 out of 6, and 1 and 2 out of 15. So the first common multiples of the denominators 3, 5, 6, and 15 is 30. So for the improper fractions 5 out of 3, we need to multiply it by 10 out of 10. So 5 times 10 is equals to 50, 3 times 10 is equals to 30, and 50 out of 30 is equal to 1 and 20 out of 30. So for 4 out of 5, we need to multiply it by 6 out of 6. So 4 times 6 is 24, and 5 times 6 is equal to 30. So 4 out of 6 is equal to 24 out of 30. 36 out of 6 must be multiplied by 5 out of 5. 8 times 5 is equals to 40, and 6 times 5 is equals to 30. 40 out of 30 is equal to 1 and 10 out of 30. So 8 out of 6 is equal to 1 and 10 out of 30. 1 and 2 out of 15, or 2 out of 15 must be multiplied with 2 out of 2. 2 times 2 is equals to 4, and 15 times 2 is equals to 30. And then copy the whole number part. So 1 and 2 out of 15 is equal to 1 and 4 out of 30. So since the denominator are all the same, we can now arrange it in decreasing order. So again, if it is decreasing order, we will start from the greatest to the smallest. So among these numbers, 2 is the greatest number, followed by 1 and 20 out of 30, or 5 out of 3. And then 1 and 10 out of 30, or 8 out of 6. Next is 1 and 4 out of 30, or 1 and 2 out of 15. And the smallest number is 24 out of 30, or 4 out of 5. All right. Now, let me introduce to you the vocabulary words that you should learn and understand in this lesson. Everybody, repeat after me. Common multiple, like fractions, and unlike fractions, mixed numbers, improper fractions. Okay, now let us discuss like and unlike fractions using these examples. So look at letter A. What have you noticed with their denominators? All right, denominators are the same. And if the denominators are the same, these fractions are called like fractions. What about example letter B? Look at the denominators. So as you can see, the denominators are different. And if the denominators are different, these fractions are called unlike fractions. Next, example letter C. Denominators are the same, so this is also example of like fractions. And for example letter D, as you can see, the denominators are different, so these are example of unlike fraction. Now let us add like fractions. So how do we add the like fractions? So as you can see, like fractions have the same denominators. So all you have to do is add the numerators. So 11 plus 8 is equal to 19 out of 20. So you will just copy the same denominators. For letter B, 3 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 6. And then, therefore, the answer is 6 out of 25. For letter C, 2 plus 3 plus 7 is equals to 12. So the answer will be 12 out of 13. And for letter D, 5 plus 2 plus 1 is equals to 8. So the answer will be 3 and 8 out of 11. Is it understood? All right. Now let us add fractions that are unlike. So for example, number 1, 1/4 plus 1/3 is equal to unknown. So since they are unlike fraction, we need to get the first common multiple of 4 and 3, and that is 12. So to make a denominator of 12, we need to multiply 1 out of 4 by 3 out of 3. So 1 times 3 is 3, 4 times 3 is 12. So 1 out of 4 or 1/4 is equal to 3 out of 12. So 1/3 must be multiplied by 4 out of 4. So 1 times 4 is 4, and 3 times 4 is 12. So 1 out of 3 is equal to 4 out of 12. Now that their denominators are the same, we can now add the fractions. So 3 plus 4 is equals to 7, and then we will just copy the same denominator. So by looking at this fraction disk, we can check whether our answer is correct or not. So this is 1/4 and 1/3. So since our first common multiple is 12, this must be divided into 12 equal parts. And 1/4 is equal to 3 out of 12. 1/3 is equal to 4 out of 12. So all in all, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 out of 12. Next, let us have another example. 1 out of 6 plus 3 out of 4 is blank. Again, our first step is to find the first common multiple of 6 and 4. And the first common multiple of 6 and 4 is 12. And then we need to convert the unlike fractions to like fractions with 12 as the denominator. So like this, 1 out of 6 must be multiplied by 2 out of 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. 6 times 2 is equals to 12. So 3/4 or 3 out of 4 must be multiplied by 3 out of 3. So 3 times 3 is equal to 9. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Now that their denominators are the same or alike, we can now add the fractions. Okay, so as you can see, this is the simple way how to write your solution. 1 out of 6 plus 3/4 is equals to 1 times 2 over 6 times 2 plus 3 times 3 over 4 times 3. So it will be 2 out of 12 plus 9 out of 12. And the answer is 9. 2 plus 9 is equals to 11. Copy the same denominator, which is 12. So using this illustration, we can check whether our answer is correct. So 1/6 is equal to 2 out of 12, and 3/4 is equal to 9 out of 12. And the answer is 11 out of 12. Is it understood? All right. Let us proceed to the next example. Example number 3. What is 2 and 3 out of 5 more than 2 and 1/4? So let us use this illustration for us to easily understand the problem. So this is 2 and 1/4 plus 2 and 3 out of 5. So we need to find out the answer. So again, the first step is to convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 2 and 3 out of 5 plus 2 and 1/4 is equal to 13 out of 5 plus 9 out of 4. So how did we get 13 out of 5? So it is 5 times 2 plus 3 is equals to 13. Copy the same denominator. And then how did we get 9 out of 4? So this is 4 times 2 plus 1 is equals to 9. And then we just copied the same denominator. Okay, step 2 is we need to find the first common multiple of 5 and 4. And the first common multiple of the denominators 5 and 4 is 20. So we need to multiply 13 out of 5 by 4 out of 4. And 9 out of 4 must be multiplied by 5 out of 5. And for the next step, or the third step, we need to convert the unlike fractions to like fractions with 20 as the denominator. So 13 times 4 is equal to 52. 5 times 4 is equals to 20. 9 times 5 is equals to 45. And 4 times 5 is equals to 20. So this is now a like fraction. And the last step is add the like fractions. So 52 plus 52 out of 20 plus 45 out of 20 is equal to 97 out of 20, or 4 and 17 out of 20. Okay, now let's proceed to another example. Example number 4, 1 and 1/2 plus 1 and 1/3. So again, we need to convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 1 and 1/2 will be 2 times 1 plus 1 is equals to 3, and then we will just copy this, the same denominator, and that is 2. So 1 and 1/3 will be 3 times 1 plus 1 is equals to 4, and then retain the same denominator, which is 3. So here 1 and 1/2 is equal to 3 out of 2. 1 and 1/3 is equal to 4 out of 3. Okay, now let us 1 and 1/2 plus 1 and 1/3 is equals to 3 out of 2 plus 4 out of 3. So we just converted mixed number into improper fractions. So associated with an illustration, it will be easy for us to understand the process. So this is 1 and 1/2, and this is 1 and 1/3. Okay, so the next step is we need to find the first common multiple of the denominators 2 and 3. And the first common multiple of the denominators 2 and 3 is 6. So we need to multiply 3 out of 2 by 3 out of 3. And then we need to multiply 4 out of 3 by 2 out of 2. And 3 times 3 is equals to 9. 2 times 3 is equals to 6. Plus 4 times 2 is equals to 8. And 3 times 2 is equals to 6. So as you can see, 1 and 1/2 is equal to 9 out of 6. 1 and 1/3 is equal to 8 out of 6. Since the denominators are now the same, we can now add the fractions. So 9 out of 6 plus 8 out of 6 is equal to 17 out of 6, or 2 and 5 out of 6. So this is 17 out of 6, or 2 and 5 out of 6. Okay, since you understood our lesson, let us have a word problem. For number 5, it says, rope A is 3 and 4 out of 5 meters long. Rope B is 2 meters longer than rope A. What is the length of rope B? Give the answer as a mixed number. So let us draw an illustration for us to easily understand the word problem. So as said, rope A is 3 and 4 out of 5 meters, while rope B is 2 meters longer than rope A. So now we need to find out the length of rope B. Okay, so all we have to do is to add the whole numbers. 3 plus 2 is 5, and then copy the same fractional part. So the answer is 5 and 4 out of 5. So the length of rope B is 5 and 4 out of 5 meters. To check the answer, 3 plus 2 is 5. So 5 and 4 out of 5 meters is a reasonable answer as it is close to 5 meters. Now that you have understood our lesson, let us now have a practice. So all you have to do is to add and then give each answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So for letter A, 3 plus 2 and 5 out of 6 is equal to 5 and 5 out of 6. Very good. So for letter B, 2 and 2 out of 5 plus 4 and 1/4 is equal to blank. Okay, let us find the answer. So the denominators are 5 and 4. So its first common multiple is 20. 2 out of 5 must be multiplied by 4 out of 4. And 1 out of 4 must be multiplied by 5 out of 5. So 2 times 4 is equals to 8. 5 times 4 is equals to 20. 1 times 5 is equals to 5. 4 times 5 is equals to 20. So we will just copy the whole number part. So copy the whole number 2 plus the whole number 4. So 2 plus 4 is equals to 6. 8 out of 20 plus 5 out of 20 is equals to 13 out of 20. So 2 and 2 out of 5 plus 4 and 1/4 is equal to 6 and 13 out of 20. Very good. And for the last letter, letter C, 3 and 2 out of 3 plus 2 and 4 out of 5 is equal to blank. So let's find out. So the first common denominators of the denominators 3 and 5 is 15. So we have 2 multiplied 2 out of 3 by 5 out of 5. And 4 out of 4 must be multiplied by 3 out of 3. So let us separate the whole numbers, which is 3 plus 2, and then let's do the fractions. So 2 times 5 is equals to 10. 3 times 5 is equals to 15. 4 times 3 is equals to 12. And 5 times 3 is equals to 15. Now we have like fractions. We can now add the fractions. So 3 plus 2 is 5. And 10 out of 15 plus 12 out of 15 is equals to 22 out of 15. Since 22 out of 15 is an improper fraction, we can change this to a mixed number. And 22 out of 15 is equal to 1 and 7 out of 15. So we can add 5 plus 1 and 7 out of 15 is equal to 6 and 7 out of 15. So therefore, 3 and 2 out of 3 plus 2 and 4 out of 5 is equal to 6 and 7 out of 15. Very good. So for your homework, kindly answer the exercise on pages 20 or page 20 of your book. So this is page 20 of your book. So all you have to do is to add the following fractions and give each answer as a mixed number. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you and goodbye.